For several years now, Netflix's name has been synonymous with great additions to the realm of prestige television, with shows like Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, and Black Mirror. Okay, so that's idiots who care about shit like quality and talent catered for, but what about the market for straight up trash? We haven't cornered that one yet. Look, we've already done our bit for good shows, let us have some profitable shite as well, alright? So Too Hot to Handle is Netflix's reality dating game show, where the network sticks a bunch of scantily clad young people in a tropical location, and the unseen creepy producers stand on the sidelines drooling and prodding them with a massive stick until they start fucking each other. Wow, I wonder what creative genius came up with such a novel idea of exposing bare flesh to get clicks. I have never heard that one before, and it's not as if the internet's already full of it. Does anyone else think that releasing this during the coronavirus pandemic is fucking evil as well? Because it's basically there to taunt you with things that you can't have. Look at the beautiful outside world, viewers. Swimming pools, palm trees, beaches. Feel the sunlight on your face. Do you remember what that was like? Do you remember what the outside world was like? Do you remember what contact with another human being was like? Well, you can't have it, viewers. Not now, not ever. Life is endless despair now, and there's nothing you can do about it. But the new way of life that we're all living under at the moment is kinda reflected in this show, because guess what? This show has a catch. If the scantily clad young people have any sexual contact with each other, prize money for the winner gets deducted bit by bit depending on how far they go. Wow, how inventive. And another gimmick they've added is that they have this strange Alexa-type AI assistant all around the resort, there to remind the contestants that the show will chuck more money at them if they don't have sex with each other. Which is a bit of a weird technological development. Just think of all the things that we can do with robots, and this show started using them as a psychological contraceptive. Of course, the scantily clad young people are going to fuck eventually. The premise of the show is not an inhibitor. The rule of no fucking is basically an encouragement mechanism for the rats in our maze to start fucking and get the people watching and waiting for the moment when the contestants break the show's supposed cardinal rule. Which must be working, because Too Hot to Handle's even been trending above Tiger King, and everyone's been talking about that. Although the show does try and deny that it's selling itself entirely on sex appeal, and attempts to use its no sex challenge premise as a way of distinguishing itself from other shallow, vacuous sex-based reality shows. Too Hot to Handle suggests in its marketing and in its selling of its premise that this show is different because the no sex challenge means that the show is about, quote, building deeper relationships over time, rather than the instant gratification that's the driving force behind other reality shows like Love Island, which this one is clearly modelled on. But the thing is, and you shouldn't need me to point this out here, this justification is utter horseshit, and it's probably been cobbled together now that Love Island has suddenly become a massive source of controversy, and the future of shows like this that sell themselves entirely on bare flesh and nothing else is in question. Because, really, think about this here, is anyone watching this paying any attention to what the contestants are actually saying? No, they're not. They're just ogling them. That's what these shows are for. They're for people who are too shy to click on Pornhub. Don't kid yourselves here, we're not watching deeper bonds forming between people over the course of several episodes. We're just sat around waiting through dull, drony, waffly conversations to see who's gonna fuck who. This is exactly like any other shallow sex-based reality show, with the producers plying contestants with alcohol and playing psychological mind games with them to trick them into fucking each other as soon as possible for ratings. And that's kinda made all the more obvious by the fact the same amount of bare flesh is chucked up on screen as any other reality show, and the only topic of conversation from start to finish is just, I like what person X looks like. I like what person Y looks like. I want person Z to reciprocate my feelings of sexual attraction. I want to feel a piece of person Y's body inside of my body. Person X's piece of fleshy tissue is exciting to me. I want to stick my cock in person Y. That's the only thing that anyone talks about. The show tries to tell you that there's any emotional depth about to come out in what you're watching, when obviously the entire point of any show like this is softcore pornography, and that's it. Don't bullshit us, Netflix. Don't try and pretend that there's any substance to this. Admit it, you just wanted to do a show featuring young people wearing as little clothing as possible from start to finish. That's That's the entire reason that shows like this are always set in tropical locations, to give itself a reason to have young people exposing as much flesh as possible. These shows are not about feelings, they're entirely and exclusively about the location and the glossiness of the people. If they're not, then I dare any network out there to take up my pitch for a reality dating show. I call it Love Infinityland. A group of attractive, scantily clad young people are dropped into the middle of a mysterious maze that seems like it stretches on and on forever. Will they go mad and die trying to find a way out of this surreal hellscape? Or start fucking out of boredom? Tune in to find out. Dear 58 in the Love Infinityland. Kerry has stumbled across another dead end. Clarice has had a nightmare that her arms were being gnawed off by giant rats. And trouble for the Infinityland lovebirds as Louise starts suspecting that Danny has been sticking his knob into the infinite void of despair that follows the Infinitylanders around every corner. But what lives inside the infinite void of despair? Tune in this week on Love Infinityland.